So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5.
Is there a time frame to wait to see if we need to reschedule?
I think we can make that decision based on,
All right, I just want to be, sensitive of everyone's time because I know there was a lot of
Yeah.
confusion with this particular meeting. So I don't want to hold up everybody's time, especially if people made last minute changes to their schedules to be here.
Hey, this is Chandra from the Go Team office. Did you hear from the other team members as far as whether or not they would be able to come?
We have 6 now, I think.
Okay.
So we have John McCall, Kimberly Leaks, Nancy Lamb, Claire Gordon, John McCall, me, that's 6. And Stacey Westwood, that's 7.
All right. Is that our quorum?
That is our quorum. Nancy, are you okay with starting the meeting for us? Or are you going to be able to have audio?
Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm just getting myself oriented here. Yes, so we want to go ahead and get this. This is an official meeting then for us?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to call the meeting to order. The first thing that we're going to want to do is approve. Did we already took a roll? And we have a quorum? You're on mute.
You're on mute, Miss Galloway.
Sorry, we took roll and we have a quorum.
Okay, great. All right, so first things first, I want to make a motion to approve our agenda for tonight. Can I get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
I second.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
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 Anybody not in favor say nay. The approval, the motion moves forward. The next thing on our agenda is to approve our previous minutes from our last meeting. Can I get a motion to approve our previous minutes?
Motion to approve the previous minutes.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any no's? Any abstentions? Okay, the motion carries. And it looks like first things that we need to do is finalize our 25-30 strategic plan. And as I recall, part of that is going to be ranking the order of our strategic plan.
That is correct. So far we have reviewed our mission and vision. We came up with our 4 goals for our 5-year period that we're tracking our strategic plan. And then we also identified our strategic objectives. So with that, this is what our, and I'm sorry, guys, I'm just trying to make sure that I didn't miss anything based on what we did. So far, this is what our final copy looks like. I hope that this is easy to view for everybody, or is the text too small? Okay, so this is what our final copy will look like PDF. There is one change that I went back and made in the edits under where we aligned our particular objectives with the district's objectives. These are supposed to be bullets because we had like maybe 2 objectives under each district objective. So I just need to go back and clean that up, but hopefully you can still see where that's readable. So tonight's goal is for us to rank our objectives to see which is the highest priority for us in terms of moving into next school year, planning for the budget season. What are we thinking is going to give us the biggest bang for our buck in terms of moving the needle for the upcoming year and the upcoming like focus for making sure that our budget is aligned to that. I think I keep going back to the same thing. Please forgive me. I don't know how we have more technical difficulty in just a virtual than we usually do in hybrid. So forgive me, everybody. Okay, so this is basically what I just said. So I am going to put in the chat, there is a Google Forms that Ms. Galloway and I worked on today to help us to rank our objectives. We did a test run. I'm hoping that it's easy to read, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat now. If you guys could give me 1 second to, I'm going to stop my share for a second. Okay. I guess the first thing I would need you to do is to make sure you can access the link, and then also make sure that it's like user friendly and the readability of it is okay too. So this is the link in the chat now to that Google Forms to rank. Yeah. Read here so that we have a visual of what the objectives are as well.
Principal Latchman, this is Chandra. Did you guys do the vote on the plan?
I thought we did that at the last meeting. I thought we agreed on our plan during the last meeting, but if we need to backtrack and vote on the plan, then we can vote on the plan.
Yeah, all you would need is just, someone to make the motion that,
Okay.
yeah, the motion to approve the 2025 through 2030 strategic plan, and then just go through the process so you can just have that confirmation from the team that everybody is aligned around this plan.
Alrighty.
So this would have been, we would have made edits through email and through discussion. And so this final version, has everybody has everybody reviewed this final version that we're looking at now? And do you want to discuss anything, or do you guys feel comfortable with taking a vote?
I've reviewed and comfortable taking a vote.
Okay.
Same. I reviewed and provided feedback via email.
Same. I provided my feedback, so
Same also.
we're good with that.
Okay, great. Well, then I will go ahead and make a motion to approve this strategic plan. Can I get a second?
Second.
Can I get any nays? Any abstentions? Okay, I guess the vote carries and we have adopted this strategic plan. And now our next order of business is to rank our priorities of these plans. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And of the things that we are ranking those 6 bullet points, or we are ranking the 6 parts, right? Or is it the 4 strategic goals?
So we are ranking, and I can show that in a different format. So we're ranking, I think we ended up coming up with 11 objectives. I think it was 11.
Yes.
So 11 objectives. So we're taking our 11 objectives and we are ranking them from what we feel like is most important moving forward to what's least important. So it may be helpful if I included our Google document that we worked on together with the list, with it listed. Would that be more helpful for everybody? Ms. Galloway, do we have that as a list?
I mean, it's pulled up in the Google form. So if you want to give me, and there's a few of us that are in here, Anonymous Dragon. If you guys want to give me sharing ability, I can share my screen.
Okay, let me make sure that you can. You should be able to now.
So it's going to be, the font size is going to be a little small but I got all 11 on here. So our objectives, they're under the various categories. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think this one should be. Oh, I can't edit this, but I think this, we are sparking student curiosity would be to the left here to follow the same formatting. And then the 11 specific objectives are listed directly underneath.
Ms. Galloway also shared the document with it, and within that Google Forms that you'll use to rank the objectives, you should also see all the objectives listed above the, what would you call that? Above the ranking question or the ranking order. They should all be there. I think in maybe that third box.
So this is hard. It's really hard to rank such important initiatives and imply that any one of these is less important than the other. Like they're all related and they're all important, or we wouldn't have made them. So I'm not, all 11 of these is going to be a tough ranking.
Can I ask Dr. Latchman or Nancy or anyone? So are we supposed to be also aligning these to the district schools, right? Which are, can someone remind me that there were 3 of them. Is that correct? Or there more than 4 of them? Which were like reading, math, it was literacy.
Graduation rate. So not necessarily. So yes and no. Okay. So when we met in November, we didn't align the objectives necessarily to the district's goals, but we aligned them to the district's objectives. So we took their objectives and our objectives and kind of merged them to see where ours meshed best with theirs. Our goals are also kind of in alignment to the district goals because that was one of our requirements when building our strategic plan, to make sure that we had something that spoke to numeracy, grad rate, career readiness, the things that the districts are focused on. So basically each component of our plan is aligned to a component in the district's strategic plan, is how I understood it.
Okay.
So for this particular assignment, though, as we get ready to plan for what's needed in our budget to move students forward, we're taking the 11 objectives and we're saying what's the most important thing to the least important thing that should be our area of focus. Now, to Ms. Lamb's um, point, yes, everything that we put is important because that was the purpose of us choosing them as our objectives. But I guess it would be helpful if we maybe like looked at things that maybe crossed over or had a particular theme, or maybe something that's broad that can maybe encompass like different aspects of something. I'm trying to say it without like giving the answer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Is,
And then she would be thinking about this also from a budgetary standpoint, where, you know, our biggest priorities are going to possibly be getting
So our
more
budget
money.
should, yes, so our budget should support what we're saying our priorities are, or our priority objectives are.
Thank you.
can you, just out of curiosity, explain what the district's why the district is asking us to rank the order of these? Like, do we know?
So I may not give the right answer. I may not give like the textbook APS Go Team Office answer. So I am going to answer and then lean to Chandra to see if I did answer it correctly.
You
But
want me
my
to
belief,
answer? I can help.
I believe it's the reasoning would be because we have 11 objectives, then we wouldn't really go into our 5-year plan focusing on all 11. We would maybe take chunks to focus on so that we can, we feel like we have a smaller, stronger focus over time, if that makes sense. I think 11 may be too broad of a number for us to focus on. So prioritizing them to say, okay, this is what we start with to gain the momentum that we need to gain over the 5-year period. And then this is where we maybe need to end off. Does that sound kind of correct?
Right. So the ranking of the objectives is what Principal Latchman will use to kind of guide her thinking around developing the proposed budget for next year. So if you think about it like with your own personal budget, for example, you know, there are things that there's a list of things that you have to or that you want to do. I'll give myself right. I want to go to the Caribbean. I have to get stuff for my kids for school. We have to pay the mortgage. So all of those things are priorities. But if I'm going to have to put them in order of things that like have to happen, I'm going to do the mortgage first. I'm going to then, focus on the getting my stuff for my kids for school. And then I can, spend towards my trip to the Caribbean. So, just trying to identify and come to a consensus as a group as far as thinking about not the whole 5 years of the plan, but just for the 26-27 year, because the budget that Principal Latchman will create is going to cover just that 1 year, right? So for just the 26-27 year, if you had to rank the objectives and kind of where the spend would go, what order would you think would be most important or beneficial as you look to move towards the goals you guys have outlined in the strategic plan?
So if I'm understanding correct, so using your example then, that some of these, is as we rank these, some of these that might be considered like a trip to the Caribbean is, one thing, but, it's not necessarily, the same as enhancing student learning, right? So I guess I'm wondering, or I'm worried that maybe by ranking these, that we might inadvertently make something appear, optional. I don't know, is that, how does that sit with you? Is that?
With me, you're saying, are you asking Ms. Latchman?
And yeah, I mean,
The
either,
team, I'm sorry.
yeah.
Me?
Yes, you. That would
Oh,
be great.
okay. I mean, I think that's a part of the conversation, that you guys can have. I think, and what we've seen, over the years, is that there may be work in the building happening for all of these things. I think it's more so around, what do we want to lean into first, if that makes any sense, because you can't do all the things all the time. And I think Ms. Latchman and maybe the staff members, could share that perspective from in the building and in the classroom. So even, when I was teaching, when I was teaching first grade, right, like you have all your subjects, right, like it's all important. But if, let's say, I knew that I had to keep my kids on pace with their reading, right? Because first grade, that's like the big year for phonics growth. So I did not want to, cut into reading time. So if we were going to do like a special activity or have a guest reader come into the class, I may, have them come in during, let's say, science, because for first grade science in Georgia, you only have one semester of content to cover, right? So I know I can kind of maybe get some time in during that science block, but I want to protect that reading time. So, that's kind of how I think about it. Ms. Latchman, you may have a additional perspective.
Can I ask too, I wonder if there's, and Dr. Latchman, this might be a better question for you, just if this is going to be, if we need to kind of streamline this, and anyone that has been on the Go team at Jackson longer than I have, are there things that you look at on this list that we can deprioritize, not because we don't think they're important, but because we don't need a lot of money to do them? Like if we're looking at this as how we're building our budget, can we keep some objectives in there that aren't going to cost us anything, maybe, right? But they're still priorities to us. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. Let me
And it
think
could be.
for an answer.
Can I just jump in and just kind of my understanding of how we're supposed to look at this? And I don't know if anyone else was on the call last night, but these objectives, we need to be, in terms of thinking about the budget, we need to be thinking about how we align the dollars to the actual objective.
Mm-hmm.
So when we prioritize the objectives, we need to be thinking about what are the most important things that we need to be focused on. And I would be thinking about it like your household budget. You pay the mortgage first. And I think there was some examples similar to that being said. What's our mortgage? We got to keep the roof over. We got to keep the roof over our head. And as I looked at the objectives, we have a lot of stuff that intertwine and align. But if we go back to our mission statement and what our charge is to do as a school, and look at it through that lens, I think we can begin, because I very quickly saw some things that could potentially go to the bottom, or that are important. All of them are important, but kids have got to read.
Right.
We've got to find great employees, because if we don't have great adults in the building, then the kids aren't going to learn to read. So how does Dr. Latchman then put the budget against that? Where are our priorities? Where should she be spending the most money and discretionary money?
Right.
That's our job, is to agree upon that. And I don't know if that makes sense or answers the question, but I think that in ranking the objectives, what is the most important thing as a school to us? And I kind of ticked through kind of the first three in my mind pretty quickly. I'm not saying that it would be quick for everyone, but I would be thinking about it through that lens, if that helps at all.
I think that would help. Do you want to go ahead and share what those might be?
Well, sorry, I'm switching phones. I'm switching off my phone onto my computer now. Sorry about that. I think, well, I think anybody can jump in, but I think, we're here to teach children. So I think anything aligning to that, I would be considering. We're here to teach children, and we have to have great adults in the building. And so I would think those would be where we would want to spend most of our money or our resources and our time. But then there are a lot of things that layer into it, like culture and climate, and some of that. If you hire the right person, they're going to create the right culture. So some of it kind of aligns with each other. If you do this, you will get this outcome. So I would also think about it from that perspective.
Yes, that's correct. Do we want to maybe do this? Maybe we want to see where everybody is with how they rank, and then kind of look at the results and see from there where everybody's thinking was with the Google Forms.
I think that's a good idea.
I think that's a good idea, actually.
Okay. So I
That's a
sent
good
it
idea, too.
earlier, but Miss Galloway just resent it in the chat. And then once the results are in, we could maybe pull that up on the screen and see where we are.
Did everybody fill this out already?
I did not.
Okay, if you sent it earlier, I missed it, so let me apologize.
No, I'm doing it right now.
Me too.
All right, so let's all take a quick few-minute break while we think this through.
So I'm a little confused. I thought that the objectives, I know under an objective you have like two statements, but isn't the objective, we are strengthening our instructional core? Or
those were the district objectives, and then under those big bucket district objectives are our school objectives that we thought aligned to
okay.
this.
Right, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes it clear. I was thinking it was a little tighter. Okay, I was thinking these were,
Sorry.
so I was thinking though, like 1 and 2 is one, but you're saying those are separate.
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Be careful when you're voting because you can actually rank something twice. Like I can put G for rank 4 2 times. So just pointing that out.
Mm-hmm.
Also, is there anybody in our meeting today that's from HR when about our principal search? No, nobody in from HR is here in our call today.
Thank you for asking because we did send an email requesting someone from HR to come to this meeting. And I think it's Dr. Mighty, she said she would ask someone from staffing to get back
Okay.
to us, and they have not as of yet gotten back to us. So I'm glad you're double checking. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you. For anybody taking notes, if we could add that in the notes that we asked about HR and they've not responded and we're not in today's meeting.
Yes, I will put that in the minutes. Thank you.
Thanks.
I have 1 and 2 columns and it won't let you submit it, but I can't figure out which one it is. I'm on my phone.
Oh my God, it would be hard to see it on the phone.
It'd drive me crazy. I had the one plan on my computer and this on my phone.
Here's hoping once we send it all that we all agree for the exact same order for all 11.
I'm still waiting for a few more responses. I have 5.
No, no problem.
And I did request at the budget meeting yesterday that we have someone from Lisa Bracken's team at our meeting when we have our first discussion about the budget. Can we note that in the notes?
And I saw that, Suzanne. I saw that you did that. And didn't Travis say he would request that? So
yes, and
it was documented.
Yes, and if we could ensure that that happens, that would be great.
Can you tell me more in the meeting minutes as well?
Say that again.
I'll put it in meeting minutes as well.
Perfect.
And Lisa Bracken would be
the CFO from the the financial team. Yeah, from the budgeting, that we have someone at our meeting. Because there's I probably am just going to get my letter together before we have our meeting. Send it over.
Okay, I should have how many responses, Miss Galloway, excluding myself?
Five, 6. Oops, someone just moved. I do believe you should have 9, but I'll double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9. 9 should be it.
Excluding me?
Including you, it's 9. Without you, it's 8.
Okay.
But I think Miss Humphrey is, she was driving, so I think this might.
No, I do have the 8.
Okay.
I guess for me, the data just looks, okay. So we're going to try to view it on a chart. It's just a bit.
I'm going to stop sharing.
Okay.
And
give you
control.
Trying to find the best format to display it. It's a little bit confusing, the chart, I think, because you're showing them that too small. Eek. Okay, so let me do this. I'm just going to share it straight from the Google Forms. And then we'll try to go from there. Sorry about that, you all.
You're fine.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so this is what our chart looks like. The letters aligned with the numbers. So objective A was objective 1.
So it looks like Okay, so it looks like a lot of us like to implement, oh wait, am I talking? Can you hear me? Yes.
Yes.
Implement a coherent long-term instructional framework with targeted strategies to accelerate literacy and numeracy outcomes across all grade levels. So it looks like it received a high ranking by many people as being as being number one. Is that what I'm seeing?
Am I reading it correctly? Because then when I look across, there are some other things like E. that
Enhance and strengthen our existing community counseling and student support systems to enhance college and career readiness.
So if I'm reading it correctly, and Miss Chandra, you could maybe help. Are we looking for the highest bars? Is what we're saying is the biggest bang for the buck? Is that how we read
If
the
you
chart for the ranking?
Yep, if you scroll back over to the left. So you see that blue at the top with the rank 1.
Mm-hmm.
So if you then go across, then you can see which objective, which letter has the highest bar, that is that color blue, and that's the one that got the most votes for as rank 1. So it looks like A.
It looks like A, but it also looks like D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, it looks like E is the highest. Yeah, this is confusing.
Well, so E had the most for rank 11.
Rank 11, so I get it now.
Oh, okay.
By the colors.
Blue is what we're looking for as the top priority. So it looks like the blue in 3 areas, A, and let me go back to, I think I said E, D, were tied. So whatever A and D are.
Okay, so D is recruit, develop, and retain highly effective educators and support staff through hiring, so on and so forth. So it looks, so if I'm hearing correct, we have a tie between number 1, coherent long-term framework, and then number 4, recruit, develop, and retain highly effective teachers.
Which makes sense.
Okay. All right, any discussion on that?
Which makes sense for in terms of like using 2 things that encompasses like a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like those 2 things can knock out a lot.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about kids and then you're talking about the adults in the building. So,
right.
I mean, if we're child centered, we would make the kids first, the adults second, if we had to rank them. But
well, which one is kids?
Tandem.
Which one is kids though? One is teachers and one is a school framework.
Well, but the framework is based on how you're going to deliver educational outcomes.
Yes. Okay. Then number 1 would be the.
To me, those would be the kids. Yes. The outcome for the kids.
I feel like number 1 is the most important. You know, coherent long-term plan with targeted strategies to accelerate literacy and numeracy outcomes across all grade levels. To me, that is the most the number 1 objective, I think, for any school. Anybody that put number 4 in for recruit and retain high teachers as number 1, does anybody want to jump in and say why they believe that would be number 1? All right, well, then I'm going to make a motion that we keep number 1, implement a coherent long-term instructional framework. And then we number 4, recruit, develop, and retain highly effective teachers would be our number 2.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. And then number 4 will be our number 2. Oh, how am I going to list that? Oh, geez. All right. Let's see if it's going to let me. All right. Number 1 is our number 1. Number 4 is our number 2. And so then our number 3 is our, I lost the slides with the results.
Oh, I'm sorry. I could go back. My apologies. Let me head right on back here. Okay, so our number 3 was B or C. B and or C.
Okay.
We're tied.
B is increased student ownership and engagement through high quality inquiry-based instruction. And then C is sustain a professional learning environment that promotes high quality inquiry-based interdisciplinary technology-rich and student-centered instruction. These might not be too dissimilar.
No.
Do we want to consider cutting some of these?
Well, I'm just thinking, is anyone looking at the draft objectives too? I'm kind of looking at those as we go through this. And we are strengthening our instructional core. That was our first objective. And under that, we have implement a coherent long-term instructional framework and increase student ownership and engagement through high quality inquiry-based instruction. So that's why I'm wondering if we can
combine
together, combine them.
Yeah.
Like we take our,
that's what I was saying earlier. Yeah.
Right. And then make those first 2. How do we make them one? And then we go to our strength as our team. That we just shows that as number 2, right? Was one of those, the recruit, develop, and retain.
Yes.
But that's also sustain a professional learning environment that promotes high quality inquiry-based, technology-rich, student-centered instruction. So how can we kind of put these together so maybe we maintain these things and just word them differently?
Like we spent so much time making these, and now we're like, we worked hard to get like a bullet point for each thing.
But I think I can see how we can put some of them together.
Yeah, I do too. I just,
redundancy. I see it now looking at it, but I mean, I think that they can be, but yes. I mean,
I
like them separated.
Sorry.
Sorry. I just feel like the separation is nice because they are very clear in that way.
So I think when you look at least the first 3, 1, 3, and 5, those are kind of the objectives. And then 2, 4, and 6 are almost, I don't want to quite say the action, but it really does fit together.
Yeah.
I agree. You could almost just make it each one of those one statement.
Make a run-on sentence.
Make a big old run-on sentence.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like the same thing for speaking student curiosity.
Mm-hmm. We could just rank the 6.
That's what I thought we were going to do.
And
I thought we were going to do.
Okay. So what, like, so for instance, if we said A was the most important, or I mean, the first 2 were the most important, I would just say 1 and 2.
Yes.
And so every time we add a different section, I just number them one after each other.
Perfect.
Yes, that would be so much easier.
Okay.
And much more efficient, I think.
Yes. So we know what we have under strengthening our instructional core is number 1 objective in terms of how we think about budgeting. Our teachers are number 2. And then now, if you look at the results, we can kind of figure out the remaining ones.
Yeah, because I also like our school is efficient and effective. And if we keep this in its current placement, like data-driven decision-making to allocate resources strategically in a fluid, quickly moving and changing school, when, data suddenly tells you new information about a group, I would like us to be in a position to act on the new information. And so that would mean, I would prefer that to be above.
I how does that manifest itself?
At least above our
Budget.
responsibility is shared. I don't know that I want to put it above we care for all children because I
Well,
love kids.
Nancy, how does that manifest itself in budget spending? Like,
Yeah,
what does
I was
that,
just
or
about
Dr.
to ask
Latchman, what
that.
does that look like?
Yeah, I think we're losing where the money will be spent.
Right.
Suppose where effort will has to go at the same time, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
leaning on Suzanne's question, where are we spending fiscal dollars to get
Yeah.
the stuff moving and shaking, and what's more important? Not to say that that's not important. It's just that more funds may not be used towards it. We got to think from that perspective to help her with the budget part.
Yeah, so I think that the strength of our the first two we have set.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there are a couple ways to think about it. You can think about when the kids are in the building and you think about restorative justice coaches that or additional services for the counseling team to help mitigate some of the issues in the building. Is that SEL, PBIS, is that a higher priority than family engagement, which is our responsibility is shared? Is that a higher priority than college and career? So those are kind of the next three on the list. Which one is, how do we rank those three? I think is the question.
I looked at that kind of responsibility is shared as something that is very important, but probably isn't a big budget line item, right? That can be outreach that people do on a volunteer basis. It's probably not something that's going to take up a lot of money. So I kind of put that one towards the bottom as far as a budget item, personally.
The family engagement.
Our responsibility is shared, that bucket.
Well, unfortunately, they are pushing spending back to the schools. So if we do anything in the building.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah.
So if we do anything in the building, for example, our I haven't been gone that long and I have forgotten. Miss Galloway, when the 10th graders do their portfolios and
MYP
portfolios, and there's a event at the school, we are now going to have to pay for the building to be open.
Yeah, that's right.
That is not a cost that is new. I think the district used to cover it and now they're pushing it back on the schools. So we have to think about it. Anything around family engagement is going to cost more than it has in the past. So I would just put that out there. Plays, all that stuff.
Yeah. Dr. Latchman, what's your feeling here?
So I think with things like ensuring that we have student support, I feel like with the place that we are in our budget kind of takes care of some other things with the people that we already have staffed, if that makes sense. So when I look at, hold on one second, let me pull up when I look at like cultivating positive, inclusive school culture, which we know is really important with SEL and PBIS and all the things that we have in terms of college and career readiness and those other pieces. I think that where we are with who we already have staffed or the positions that we already have staffed, I think we're in a good place with being able to implement those. So that wouldn't be a priority area for our budget because it's already included, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some things that are current, that our budget already has taken care of that we don't have to budget for. Like certain positions, like making sure our robust student support team stays how it is to support students in other areas outside of academics. The only really new thing, and I still don't anticipate it being something that's going to eat up too much of our budget. I'm still kind of I think our district too is still trying to figure out what it looks like for different schools, but the piece where we now have to pay for custodians and we now have to pay for SROs, I don't think that's going to be too much of a hit based on how it's been explained to us. So I don't think those are things that would have like too big of an impact to hurt us in any way from like the things that need to focus, like the strengthening instruction or pouring into our teachers to make sure that they're receiving quality professional development.
So
Okay.
can I ask this? So I remember last year there was a conversation around an additional person. And I think maybe we got that. I'm not sure. I can't remember, with the counseling team and at a counseling admin. Did that happen?
We have a counseling like administrative assistant.
Yes.
Yes, we do have one.
And that's already that'll already be fully funded.
Yes. So that's a position that we already have accounted for.
So, I just wanted to add this before I kind of start typing again and forget what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm talking on Mr. McCall's thing because there's an echo. We're sitting next to each other. I just wanted to point out that the order that the district's strategic objectives are placed in. It seems like there was a lot of thought put into the order that they placed that in. I mean, the only one I might say that that I might disagree with is the kind of the last one, which I feel like is it permeates throughout all the others. Our school is efficient and effective, which is the last thing, but it's kind of like throughout. So I don't know, it might be something where we're looking at kind of the order that they put it in. If, there was a lot of thought put into that we might want to kind of emulate that. I'm just throwing that out there. I'll be quiet now.
Well, I think 3 through 6, I guess there are a couple of schools of thoughts. You could leave it in the order and that would probably be fine. But if there could be some impacts, you think that, so that's interesting. Based on what you heard, you don't think the impacts will be great when the district pushes back to the school security, janitorial services, building usage, all that stuff. You think it will be nominal based on all the things that occur in the building?
Yes, I don't believe that it's going to be anything that we'll think, oh my goodness, now I'm in the red because I had to pay for all of this extra time. I think what we'll do to try to figure it out, and I will have a more clear answer when we present the draft budget in February. But what I'll kind of do with our district person and Mr. Murdoch is kind of just sit and come up with a model for like a sample number of events that we have for the year. What's the going rate for overtime for custodians and SROs? The one point of clarity that I did ask that the district is still trying to get answers on are what happens if it is a Georgia High School Athletics Association event? Then are schools still responsible for that, or is the district still responsible for that? And I think the answer that I've gotten so far is that the district is still responsible for that. So we're really only talking about like when we do MORP or homecoming dance or school plays, those things that we have after hours. So kind of just using our calendar from this year and seeing what are the number of things, how long does it run, and what the expected cost is. But when we thought about it and sat down and started doing some preliminary things, it didn't feel like it was going to be anything that was going to be too detrimental to our budget.
Can I ask about, well, I'm kind of feeling like the last one, our school is efficient and effective. To me, that sort of speaks to some of the tools and resources that we use instructionally to help drive some of what we offer, some of the platforms that we as a school purchase licenses for, or additional support resources that we need in based on subject areas. That to me would be kind of a big budget item to sustain some of those subscriptions or licenses that we may need to purchase in addition to what the district may provide. So I think that is of the others that we have yet to identify as a priority, might be a priority that would be in alignment with money and the budget that we may need to give consideration to of the 3 or 4 that we haven't ranked yet.
Which one was that one?
The last one.
The last one, tools that we use for data-driven decision making.
Yeah, I think as you're reading it and it does speak specifically to signature programming, I think putting it high up also sends a message to the district that we are viewing that our signature programming needs to be funded. Because there have been questions about it. There's not a question this year, but there have been questions about it in previous years. Will the district continue to fund at the maximum level signature programming? So if everything else isn't like you're feeling like it's not a huge impact, 3 through 6, which is we are caring for every child, we are sparking student curiosity, and our responsibility is shared. Maybe our school is efficient and effective does move up into that 3rd position because we are kind of making a statement from a budgetary perspective, the signature programming, and fully enhancing that is important.
Yes, that's what my kind of thoughts are around it.
Okay. And then pathways,
I
in my
agree with
mind, that
that.
would include pathways and all of that. So making sure that we have a robust ROTC, and if they're extra dollars and they're trying to expand their program, those are all of our unique value propositions that attract people to the school.
Mm-hmm.
How does that land on you, Dr. Latchman?
I think that sounds good. I think that makes perfect sense, especially for where we're saying we are trying to be in 5 years. That makes sense to me.
Okay. And then do you think the other 3 we could just leave kind of in a row? Or do you all think that we need to move those around?
I think they can stay where they are personally.
Okay.
I feel like it's kind of, we thought about these things when we were ranking them to begin with, but now that you've brought up and, talked about the school's effective and efficient, I feel like that does make sense to move that up too.
I mean, that is our value proposition. That is our unique value proposition as a school, is our robust offerings, and not just IB. I mean, it's not just that. And there could be funding, if it comes down to it, and we can get a bus for dual enrollment, we might need to allocate funds to pay for that. So wouldn't that be a priority so more kids can take advantage of dual enrollment?
So the 6th one, the last one.
Yeah.
Are we moving that up? How high are we moving that up now? I kind of got a little confused.
3.
3. Okay. And then the rest will go in a row.
Yes.
Now, do we still need to tighten these objectives under the headlines up more, or now can we keep them the way they are in these little sub groups, or do we need to make them into one long run-on sentence?
I think one long run-on.
Okay.
Or a paragraph.
So we have one
for each.
One like under each one. Okay.
Ms. Galloway, if you're talking to us, you're on mute.
I'm going to come over here, Mr. McCall, again, because I don't want the echo. So wait, are we saying that because we've already approved the strategic plans and objectives, I mean, the strategic objectives. So are we now saying we're going to combine the two, each of the two? Is that what you just said?
So like 1 and 2 just stay together.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yes. So that's what we said before. Okay, I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page.
No. 1 and 2 stay together. 3 and 4 stay together. 5 and 6 stay together. 7 and 8 stay together.
So on. Okay. So really it stays the same on the sheet, except I'm actually highlighting the ranking of each of the 6 in order on that Google Doc sheet that I had earlier. So if anyone wants to kind of review that as I finish that up.
Is it 6?
I saw you doing that. So you're saying with the 3, our school is effective, efficient and effective, that'll come underneath our strength as our team. And so will use the data-driven decision making, right?
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
And if we clean it up, I think it's fine, right? I think we're going to vote on it anyway. So.
Would you like me to read out the order of all 11, or are we pretty clear about what do you think we all have a clear understanding of where we are?
I think we have a clear.
I'm looking at the Google Doc.
Okay, good.
And it looks like 1 is instruction, 2 is strengthening core, 3 was supposed to be school is efficient and effective, right?
Yes, but you'll notice next to that, it's highlighted with the 3 down there so that it just needs to be dragged and dropped up.
And then everything is in order. So 4, 5, and 6. Okay, yep. I think that's right.
Ms. Galloway, were we supposed to take a vote or did we already take a vote?
No, we need to take a vote. I'll make a motion that we adopt the objectives in the order in the order that we just created. Yes.
Yeah. I second that motion.
You can't second, you're the chair.
Oh, sorry.
I second.
Nance, all in favor.
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any abstentions or any nays? The motion carries.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, so just kind of some upcoming items in the February meeting. We will take a look at the draft budget, and we will the team will have an opportunity to vote on that draft budget before the principal goes to the staffing conference and before the associate superintendent reviews it. These are just the dates for when the staffing conferences are scheduled to occur. I do believe our Go team happens on the 8th of February, if I'm not mistaken, or somewhere around that time.
The 11th is what I have in my calendar.
I'm so
February
sorry.
11th.
Yes, the 11th. And then in March, we will do the approval of the final budget based on approval after the staffing conference and what the associate superintendent reviewed.
Okay.
Are there questions about any of that?
No, so I'm guessing next month's meeting is going to be very lengthy
Yes, it
because we're going to have budget and HR. Is that right?
possibly, yes, since they did not come to this particular meeting or
Or last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
And charter renewal.
Are there any reports reported from our cluster advisory team?
No, we have our next meeting, right? I think we haven't met since our last meeting. So our next meeting for cluster advisory is in February also.
Okay.
Has anybody else gone to I know Claire went, has anybody else gone to the budget meeting?
I haven't not yet. I was unable to make yesterday's meeting. So I've
Okay.
got, I can go next week.
Okay, when you go,
I'm going on Tuesday.
okay, when you guys go, will you all, oh, okay, thanks, Ms. Humphries. Can you put in the chat and ask for someone from the budget office to our February meeting as well? I want to pound that drum because I want to make sure I want to make sure that we have full clarity when we're discussing this.
Okay. I will do that.
So the next few slides kind of just talk through the budget development process. So last night, what would have been our budget allocation meeting this month as a school Go team, the district made the move to do a district-wide one so that there could be one voice, everyone could hear the same information at the same time, and they could get some really hard questions answered from the decision makers. So that happened last night. I believe the second session is tonight, and there is another session tomorrow evening. And they're all virtual, but you must register in order to join. This slide just talks through the different roles in the budget development process, but what we did this evening was look at our strategic plan for the next 5 years to come up with some focus areas for how the budget needs to be built and or resources effectively allocated. Sorry. So during our next meeting, I will present the proposed FY27 budget. This is where we'll have the opportunity for feedback, for some discussion, and we will, I think, take a vote on that draft before moving forward. And that is all that I have, unless there are any questions or comments about the meeting if you did attend yesterday evening.
Well, in attending the meeting last night, I'm still trying, I want to make sure I have full clarity of what's coming down to the schools with the cuts in central office and then how they're reallocating allotments, because it seems it's just interesting because right now we're in the red.
Yeah.
And and I know they're trying to say it's because of the number of gifted students and the number of these students and the number of those students and the number of those students. But they're small schools that are getting $500,000. And so if they are cutting back small school supplement, some of my questions were, why aren't they being allocated to, and why isn't there a line item for schools that are impacted by over enrollment? Not just schools that are under enrolled, because we face different challenges. Additionally, one of the questions that I put in, which everyone ignores every year, is why there are schools that can rent out their parking and get revenue for their school for that. Why, if the school is having to pay for SROs and all of that stuff now, why can't the school participate in a revenue share when the buildings are when the building or the fields are being rented out? There is revenue coming into the district for that. And why is none of that revenue coming back to the school? So that is something that I continue to harp on. Dr. Latchman, that's not something you're going to harp on.
No, it's okay. But I just wanted to clarify, because we are actually not in the red. So I think because there were certain areas in I think you guys were privy to the allocation sheet where
yes,
we had a dip in gifted, and we had a dip in, maybe it was REP and EIP.
Yeah.
But we are actually not in the red. We're actually in a very good position in terms of our budget. I know it doesn't appear that way from that allocation sheet, but we are one of the schools that is not in the red.
Oh, that's great.
And we are actually in a great position where we don't look like we'll have to lose any staff. So I still have yet to take a deeper dive, but just in my meeting with the district today, doing kind of like that first overview, we're in a really, really great position moving into next year.
Were we in the, I looked at the, because obviously all of that is based on your, the projection, the enrollment projection. Do you know do you know where we are right now?
So you mean our current enrollment?
Uh-huh.
So today we should be at 1615.
Okay, and I think they put us to
1659.
That feels low. And
so
that's
our current enrollment is 1650.
1615.
1615.
Okay.
Yes,
okay. I thought you said 15. Okay.
And they have us saying their enrollment projected is what?
1659.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Will you capture that, Emily? Because projection is everything.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't get those numbers right. And the good thing is Dr. Dancer is now over that process.
Yeah.
Which he obviously has suffered from low projections, but then you don't want it to be too high, of course, because we don't want to be giving money back. And then my understanding is they're not withholding any title dollars. And this going into next year. In past years, they were holding back title, which I think also helps with budgeting. So do you have a sense, do you recall what that number was? Because it looked like we were about 300,000 in the red.
I'm trying to pull it up right now from yesterday.
I have it here. I'll pull it up. I think
no, I'm talking about the new, what you saw today.
Oh, no, we're not $300,000 in the red.
Okay.
At all.
Okay.
No.
That's great.
Okay. So that, I was getting ready to tack up my horse.
No, we're in
a
great position, but once like I said, like over the next 2 days, like take that deep dive and start working in it. And then you all will see, of course, in February, once the presentation is done, like what we're working with too.
Okay. All right. But you don't think we're going to be in the red?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Because we were last year.
No, we're not.
Okay. All right.
All right, so I think we're done. Did we do everything that we needed to do? Do we needed to go back? There was something I remember in the agenda that said we needed to do after our discussion. Let me go
I
back
just
to
go
that.
We just had to take that vote on our rankings that we just did. That was the main thing.
Okay. All right. Yes, we did. Ranking strategic plan objectives. Da, 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 da. And then I guess we are ready to adjourn. Do we need to formally adjourn?
We
or-
do, but can I just say one thing? If for some reason HR cannot come out, I'm not sure who's on from the Go team. Can we get an updated timeline from them? Can we get something from them to at least allow Dr. Latchman to do a report out?
I'll send a note. I sent a note already, but I'll reply to the note that I've already sent and say if you can't have anyone here in person to get the update.
Yeah,
on the timeline.
so she can at least report out to us where we are in the process. Somebody needs to report out. So,
and also
No
Nancy, public comment if you want to offer that up.
Do we have any public comment? Does anybody here or is there anybody here from the public?
I don't think so.
I don't either. Okay. Does anybody have any announcements? All right, then I believe we have reached the end of our agenda. Is there any additional business at this time?
No.
Okay. May I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
A second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 All opposed, please say nay. Raise your hand. Any abstentions? The meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Latchman.
Thank you so much for everybody.
Good night.
Have a great evening. Bye-bye.